even though we're doing subtraction, just like in addition, if we don't have enough to work with within a place value, we don't have enough tens, we don't have enough hundreds, we don't have enough ones, we can rearrange that number by making trades. Does that make sense? This is what you are writing down. That's the sentence that's going at the top of the next blank page. Just like addition, if you don't have enough to work with within the place value, you can rearrange by trading or regrouping. So we started using yesterday for subtraction. We've done quite a few subtraction strategies, but what strategy did we start using yesterday? Eliana? Expanded form, and that's what we're going to continue today. So underneath this title, I'm going to give you the next equation. Please stack it and then go ahead and expand it so that we can do expanded form. Okay. The equation is 205 minus 137. Again, stack it and then expand it out beside of it so we can get ready to solve this with our expanded form. In my 100 plus, technically, because I have 0 tens, I could just write 5. 5 ones. That would be correct. However, that gets really funky when I'm starting to use expanded form. So I recommend that you still put the 0 there or a double 0 because it's in the tens place. If you put 1 0, that's still mathematically correct. If you put nothing, that's still mathematically correct. But it is helpful if there's a spot saver there. Plus 5, and then 100 plus 30 plus 7. Which of those numbers is the whole? Because yesterday Miss Miller made it a really big deal that I know what is the whole when I'm subtracting. Azalea, which one of those numbers is the whole?
200.
I don't have 200. I have 205. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Label it. Put a W beside the 205. That means, Adria, that my bottom number must be part. So that means I always have to start at my whole, which is my top number, and work my way down. Ready? Alright. Top number says 5 ones. And I need to subtract 7 ones. Is that going to work?
No.
Are you sure it's not 2? I feel like it should be 2.
No, because 5 plus 2 equals 7, not 5 minus 7.
Very good. So I don't have enough ones right now to do that without being in the negative. And I don't want to be in the negative. That's not good. Do I have more ones in this problem?
Yeah.
Where are some ones hiding? Dominic?
The tens.
Usually they're hiding in the tens.
You don't remember?
Oh, wait.
Hundreds. You have hundreds.
Are there ones and hundreds though?
Yes.
Yes, there are.
The ones to make the 10.
There are ones and hundreds. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to steal a 100. Cross out your 200. We're taking a whole 100 so that all that's left is 100. We can't just jump and put 100 ones in the ones because that's way too much. Right? Can you imagine going to the bank and saying, here's $100. Now give me $100 coins? It would be so much. I'd be working out like this. Trying to carry all those coins. So we need to put them in the tens first. So put your 100 in the tens column. box because these are getting smushed together. 100 plus 0 is still going to be 100. Well, that has not yet solved my ones problem. I still don't have enough ones. But instead of taking all 100 and putting it in the ones, I'm just going to take a 10. So I'm going to cross out where I have now put my 100, and I'm taking just 10 away. So that is going to leave me with 90 in the tens place. And now I have 10 that I'm moving over into the ones. Again, I have to smush it together, Bryce, with what's already there. 10 ones plus the 5 ones that were already there gives me a total of how many ones now? You with me? Harwin? 15. Now if I have 15 ones, do I have enough to start subtracting 7?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you want to add to subtract or do you want to count backwards? Add to subtract. Alright, let's start at 7 and we're going to count on until we get to 15. Ready? 7, 8,
9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. It's 8.
8. Alright. My difference in the ones column is 8.
One more.
Now let's move to my tens. It looks a little crazy. It looks a little crazy, but I have 90 minus 30. Do I have enough tens to do that?
Yes.
Yes, I do. Do you want to add to subtract or do you want to count backwards? Alright, we're going to start at 30, but this time instead of counting by ones, what am I going to count by?
Tens.
Because I'm in the tens place. Alright, ready? 30,
40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 60.
60. Not 6. 60. And then lastly, I have 100 minus 100. Do I have enough hundreds to do that? Yes.
No.
Yeah.
Kind of.
I do.
That.
It's gonna I have exactly enough. If I go to the store with my $100 bill and I say I would like one really fancy waffle, and they said that would be $100, please, then I have made that trade and I have exactly nothing.
But you still have a waffle.
But I have a waffle.
That means that
Ooh, how am I gonna put that back in standard form?
Don't put the 0.
Bailey?
68.
It's just 68. If I really wanted to be crazy lady, I could put 068. That doesn't change the value of my number, but it looks a little silly, so usually we just say 68.
Just like if I.
So far, so good?
68.
Alright. If you have space, you may continue to work down the page. If you need to go to the next page, that's totally fine. We're going to work on a word problem, and then time permitting, as long as we have some time, we're going to do some partner work today, but we got to get through the word problem first. Yes, ma'am.
Also, if we have 205, we can't just say 25.
Sure.
The 0 counts as a 10, so you can't just say 25.
Yeah, depending on where that 0 is, the place value it has, it definitely can mean something. Yes, ma'am. A school collected 217 cans of peas and 186 cans of corn. How many more cans of peas were collected than cans of corn? So go ahead and write your answer sentence. figure out what it is that I'm counting in this problem. What am I counting? What is the thing, the unit, the object that I am counting, Grace? I am counting food, but more specifically, I'm counting peas.
And corn.
I'm not necessarily counting corn. I want to know how much more peas. What's this answer sentence going to look like? Go for it, Brayden. Okay, that'll work. That'll work. Hey, Drew, what you got?
The school collected blank cans of peas and
That's not going to work because the school collected 217 cans of peas. That doesn't tell me how many more. Scarlett, what you got? Ooh, I like that. There are blank more peas than corn. Because we're counting more peas. Not just peas, I'm counting how many more peas. What's the next step that I need to do after I write an answer sentence? This should be like stuck in your brain. Lucy? Make a what? Yeah. In most cases, that's going to be a bar model. Go ahead and draw it. Why am I making a bar model? Why am I making a bar model?
because you want to know what the equation is.
I want to know what the equation is. Sketch. Does the bar model help me solve anything?
No.
No, it does not. It just tells me what my equation is.
It helps you get to the next step.
It helps me get to the next step, but it's not solving things. It's not add to subtract. It's not expanded form. It just helps me figure out what it is. So my total
217.
is how many peas I have, because I want to know how many more peas. That's what I'm counting. Azalea, do I know the total amount of peas?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes, we do. But you want to know how many more. Now you need to know how many more peas.
Do I know how many total peas there are?
Yes.
Yes, I do. How many total peas are there?
217.
217. I'm going to write that down by my hole because that is the total amount of peas, and I am counting peas. But I'm comparing peas to something. What is that something that I'm comparing my peas to, Bryce? Get out of space. Stand to Miss Miller's land, please. What is that something I'm comparing my peas to? Miranda? Corn. So I need to put my corn in my bar model because in order to figure out how many more peas, I need to know how much corn I have. So one section of my bar model, I'm going to put 186 because that's my corn. I already know that I have at least 186 cans of peas. I know that because 217 is bigger than 186. Do I know how many more I have? No. I don't know how much more.
Will be if you solve it.
What equation can I make from that? Emma, you want to give it a go?
117
I have 217, is that what you mean?
217 minus 136.
Love. Gemma said 217 for whole. Subtract one of the parts, 186 equals blank. Is there another equation?
Yes!
Yeah. Adria, you want to try another one?
Yeah, maybe like 186 plus blank equals 207.
Yes.
Or
I can make this an addition equation. I just have to start with my parts instead of my whole. That will work.
it can be blank plus 186.
All right. So now I know my equation. Now I'm ready to pick a strategy. What strategy do you want to use? I don't think my friendly numbers one is going to work because neither one of those are friendly. So we have expanded form. We have add to subtract. I don't remember what our other strategy was that we did. Let's make a friendly number, but we're not going to be able to do that with this one. Friendly? You want to go with expanded form? All right. I like it. We're going to do it as a subtraction problem. So go ahead and stack 217 minus 186. And then we're going to expand it out. If this is not your favorite strategy, that's totally fine. If I see this problem, I would see that these two numbers are pretty close together. So adding on would be a fine strategy. But we're going to try some expanded form because it's good practice. All right. Have my problem expanded out. Which one of those numbers is the whole? Because that's pretty important in subtraction. Right? 217. That means I have to start with that number, even if it's not easy. Even if I have to do some rearranging. Adria, do you have a question?
Just saying, 180.
Yep. Alright, let's start at our ones. Ready? Easton, you ready? So my whole has a 7 and my part has a 6. 7 minus 6. Do I have enough ones to do that?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't need to rearrange anything. I got it covered, Azalea. What's that going to leave me with? No, 7 minus 6 is not 300.
I thought you were talking about 10. I mean 100. It's 1.
Alright, let's go over to our 10s now. I have 10 and 80. I know that 80 minus 10 is really easy, so can my answer just be 70?
No.
No. 10 is my whole. I can't flip that around, but I can get more 10s if that's not enough. Where are my 10s going to come from, Annabella? Because right now I only have 110 and I'm trying to subtract 80. So where are more 10s hiding? In the hundreds. Let's go ahead and steal one of those. Cross out your 200. William. Cross out your 200. Write a 100 above it because that 200 is now 100. And I'm going to put that 100 over with my 10s. Now, there was already a 10 there. Do I just ignore that?
No.
No, I got to smush it with the 100 that I just got. Breda?
But you can't fit 110 in the...
That's super correct. Brayden just brought up a good point. He said, hey, you can't fit a 100 in the 10 place. And that's totally correct. But we need that extra to subtract. And then when we subtract, there won't be a 100 in the tens place. Does that make sense? So as of right now, yeah, you're right. We have way too much stuffed in there. But we needed that extra so that we could subtract. So I have 100 and a 10. That becomes 110 minus 80. Annabella, you with me? I like to add to subtract. Let's start at 80. Ready?
80, 90, 100, 10, 30, not 3. 30.
All right, last step. I'm at 100 minus 100. Do I have enough hundreds to do that?
No. Yes.
If I have a $100 bill and something costs $100, do I have enough money to buy it?
Yes.
Am I going to have money left over?
No.
No. But I do have enough money to buy the thing. So 100 minus 100 is 0. We're going to put this back in standard form. Scarlett? 31. 31. So how many more peas are there than corn? 31. 31. 31 more cans of peas than corn.